Hey, what is going on, guys? Coming at you with a quick updated deck profile, and today I'll be showing you guys my Lunalights. So I decided to break this deck back out at my locals yesterday. The deck performed really well. I ended up getting first place. I will note here that the list is a little bit different from what I was playing at the locals yesterday. At that locals, I was actually testing out 2 Wavering Eyes and 2 Astrograph Sorcerer as a way to defend against Ghost Ogre on Lunalight Wolf. But I found that it was kind of weird. Like, anytime that, I, would want to see it when there was an ogre, I wouldn't see it. And then anytime there wasn't an ogre, I would see it and it would clog up my hand. So out of like the 3 different tournaments that I tested out Astrograph and Wavering Eyes in, it just really never got any use. So I decided to cut it, put in some other cards, basically just to up the consistency of the deck. And in theory, too, what that can do for you is it can potentially set you up with like a second wolf in case your first one gets ogred, or like a wolf with a perfume in graveyard to be able to get a second wolf if it gets ogred. So I think that's honestly just the better way to play around ogre than to play reactive cards like Wavering Eyes and Astrograph Sorcerer. Although it did do really good for the one guy that got a top 8 a couple months ago at a regional. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead and get right into the deck profile. So starting off, we of course have the free Clio-Chick, the heart and soul of the deck, what actually brings this deck together. It's just insane. The interesting thing about the local yesterday is that I actually end up having to go first a lot because of the weird matchups, and being able to get 2 of her out on the board and make a Baguska is just really good against most decks, to be able to stall out for a turn or 2 before you can go for your OTK pushes. Other than that, I mean, it just easily makes Panther Dancer and Leo Dancer like it's nobody's business. Next, we have the free Black Sheep. Was previously playing 2, but I decided to cut one of the free Blue Cats for the third Black Sheep. Just basically to have more consistency to get to polymerization if I need to. Because yesterday at locals, I actually ended up fusion summoning Leo Dancer with polymerization 2 different times. Something that almost never happens, in my playtesting with Lunalights. That, and it's just, extra deck thinning. And it's a nice way to get a Lunalight in graveyard if you need to get like a perfume or a tiger off. And Blue Cat, still good at 2. Potentially can be a defensive card, but I was finding that it would clog a lot when I was playing it at 3, so I feel like 2 is just fine. You mostly need it for your OTK pushes when you special summon it off of like, Tiger, or not Tiger, but Perfume, Pendulum summoning it, or off the next card, which I decided to add back in, the Purple Butterfly. I previously wasn't playing this card, but I ran into too many situations where I looked at my game state and wished I had a Purple Butterfly in my deck or in my hand to be able to special summon out another Clio-Chick or another Blue Cat just to get that extra monster on board, that extra damage on board I needed for game. So Purple Butterfly is coming back in. It's an easy side-out card if you need to, but there's just a lot of situations where it's actually really good in my opinion, so it's back in there. And the final Lunalight is the 1 White Rabbit. This actually comes up even less a lot of times than the Purple Butterfly, simply because there's just not a lot of back row to worry about. Granted, it is good in that niche situation where you have like a Black Sheep in graveyard that you discard for polymerization, and then you summon this, bring back the Black Sheep, and you have 2 monsters on board. But in 99% of situations, you'd much rather summon a Clio-Chick with your normal summon, so yeah, I mean, White Rabbit's decent. You can search it if you need to get rid of a couple back row, but yeah, I mean, it ends up getting sided out a lot too. For the Pendulums, we of course have the Triple Wolf and Triple Tiger, pretty standard there. Next, as I don't play the Astrograph Sorcerer, I decided to play the 2 Dark Kaiju. Pairs up nicely with the Lord of Darkness. And the biggest thing this deck has a problem with, especially going second, can be like that one really annoying monster on the board that is preventing you from going into your big Leo Dancer play. So being able to tribute over it with a Kaiju is really good. And your Panther Dancer can at least crash into it, usually get over it if you have a Tenki on board. And then, of course, your Leo Dancer easily beats over it as well. So, yeah, the 2 Radiant. And then for hand traps, we're still playing the same lineup here in the main. The free Ash Blossom, the free Ghost Ogre, and the 1 Maxi. This actually makes a huge difference playing it in a more competitive environment with Lunalights. Just being able, going second with this deck, having a hand trap or 2 to be able to stunt your opponent's plays and then just be able to go off from there is just too good. These hand traps obviously are really good right now. So that's it for the monsters. I believe it's 25 of them. Pretty high monster count. For spells, we of course have the Triple Perfume, pretty standard. the triple 10 key to search out all our Beast Warriors except for Wolf, unfortunately. We bumped the Lure of Darkness up to 3. I now have 12 dark targets since I put back in the Pro Butterfly and put in the 2 Radiant. So there's plenty of dark targets. This potentially could be nice Ash bait. It just gets you, more cards. Can get you to your combo pieces that you need to make your plays. And, if it's like kind of dead in your hand, you can always ditch it off a Perfume to be able to get your search. So, that's not too bad. Then speaking of Perfume, we do run the 2 Foolish Burial Goods. Still a good card. You could run 3 if you want, but there are some situations, like there's a couple situations yesterday where I could have used Foolish Burial Goods, but it would have left me too low on resources in my hand to really be able to use Perfume effectively. So there are times where you just end up ditching this for a Perfume that you already used to get your search. But, there are times as well where you can use goods to get that Perfume engraved, and then it just sets you up for your plays. Next is the 2 Poly. You really don't need 3. You have the free black sheep to search it out, and it's kind of 50-50 on whether you end up using it or not, because a lot of times you end up using Wolf to make your fusion plays. And then for the final spell, we have the 2 Pod Desires, because this deck needs a little bit more consistency, and you play a lot of free ups in the deck. So that's it for the 40 card main deck. For the extra, we have the 1 Cat Dancer, the 3 Panther Dancer, and the 2 Leo Dancer. You could potentially cut Pamper down to 2. I don't think I've ever really had to go into 3 that often or use 3 with like Kaleido Chick, but it is the most useful one because it's the one you send most often off of Kaleido Chick. And there are times too where you just need to send a Cat Dancer off of Kaleido to be able to make Panther. So it's the one that comes up more often than the others. That's why I play 3. Cat Dancer, you really only need 1, because you only at most ever will make 1 in the game. And if you send it off a Kaleido Chick, you can also revive it back off of like Tiger or off of Perfume. So it is nice as well. We do play the 1 Synchro and the 1 Black Rose Dragon. Basically for those weird situations where you have a revival card like Tiger or Perfume to bring back a Kaleido Chick or a Blue Cat. And then you have like a dead Ghost Ogre or Ash Blossom in your hand. And you just either want to nuke the board to free the way for you to go into Leo Dancer. Or you just want to bait out something to, make it more safe to make your plays. So, that's why the Black Rose is in here. For lengths, still just the 1 Akashic Magician and the 1 Decode Talker. This is definitely better now that we're playing the Kaijus. The 2 Kaijus in the main and then 2 in the side as well with Slumber. Really good for, bouncing that back to your hand. And just getting that extra damage on board too when you make Leo Dancer. Next for rank 4 is got a 1 Diamond Dire Wolf to clear up a card and also to get itself out of the extra monster zone so you can make your plays. We have the full Utopia package of Utopia, Prime, and Lightning. I did have a couple situations where I was regretting the fact that I didn't play the Prime to have the 2 materials left on Lightning to be able to get over and ever attack. So I decided to put it in. You have a little bit of space in the extra deck to work with, so it's not that big a deal. Then, of course, we played a 1 Baguska. Most times, it's going to be your go-to turn 1 play if you can get 2 Kaleido Chicks on board. There are a few matchups where Leo Dancer's a better go-to than Baguska. Like, for example, the Magical Musketeer matchup I went against yesterday. But yeah, Baguska, just a really good card. And then finally, the 1 Tornado Dragon in case you need to clear up some back row. Can also combo off of your Tiger as well to get you an extra Monster Reborn. So, it's pretty good. So that's it for the extra. For the side, we have the triple Droll and Lockbird, just the next best hand trap in my opinion. You could also play Ghost Reaper if you want to, but Droll and Lock does the job pretty well. We do play 2 other Kaijus, the 1 Gamma Seal, the 1 Jizukiru, and the 1 Slumber. Triple Twin Twisters in case we're actually going against the back row heavy deck or we know our opponent's going to side in a lot of stuff. The unfortunate thing is most relevant decks right now, really what they're going to end up siding against you is Dimensional Barrier, and you really don't have a good answer to that. So, Twin Twisters isn't really going to do much against that. But if you know that they're going to have a bunch of strikes and maybe Anti-Spell Fragrance, Imperial Order, things like that, then Twin Twisters can be pretty good against that. We have the 1 Dark Hole and 1 Regeki for more board wipes. And then I did decide to actually put in some more stuff in case we do need to go first or are forced to go first. For that, we just have the triple strike and the 1 warning, the whole Solemn Brigade here. This is just the best generic. side I could think of for going first. Just stops a lot of different things. You could side D barriers if you wanted to, Grisale Prison, things like that, but these are just more universal in my opinion. So that's it for this updated deck profile. My Lunalights that, as I said, got first place in my local tournament. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.